Hey Racer fans, thanks for joining us again. Our weekly look at some of racing's old-time heroes. And today, in honor of Jim McElreath, I'm wearing AJ Foyt's sweatshirt because they're two of the toughest Texans you'll ever want to meet. And Jim McElreath is, I don't know that I've ever met anybody that has gone through the hardships and weathered them like he has. He made 15 Indy 500s and he won 5 IndyCar races. Hell of a sprint car driver, hell of a mechanic. Here's a picture of him in the early 60s in Milwaukee with his wife Shirley, his daughter Shirley Ann, and his son James in happier times. He was AJ Foyt. AJ liked him a lot. They were teammates at Indy. Probably Jim's most memorable victory was the 1970 inaugural California 500 on Winchester Speedway. Jim was AJ's teammate. He won the race. In typical McElreath fashion, they celebrated afterwards. Everybody went back to the Holiday Inn, which was about 2 miles away, and there was nothing in between the racetrack and the Holiday Inn except dirt. And Jim, of course, they find him walking, carrying his trophy back to Holiday Inn because nobody had given him a ride home. The glamour of being an Indy 500 winner, or sorry, being an Indy 500 driver. Things really interested him in the early 70s because his son James started looking good in midgets and sprint cars, won the Holman Classic, tried to make the Indy 500 in 77. Missed the show. They would have been the first father-son team. But the kid was only 23 years old, and boy, he had the makings of a star. Smart driver, great kid. And then in October of 1977, he gets killed at Winchester. Not his fault. Somebody spins in front of him, he goes out of the ballpark, and Jim's one of the first people there because he's taking care of his car that day. So James is dead at the age of 23. Jimmy keeps racing for a couple more years, makes the Indy 500 in 1980 as his own car owner and mechanic. He was his own chief mechanic that year. And then runs a few stock car races, I think modified around the Devil's Bowl, and retires. In the meantime, his daughter Shirley Ann marries Tony Bettenhausen Jr. They have 2 daughters. And then Shirley's killed on Valentine's Day in 2000 along with Tony in a plane wreck. And so Jim has lost both his kids. I think about 12 years ago, his wife Shirley has a massive stroke and she's paralyzed. She's in a wheelchair. She can't talk. And Jim never left her side. You talk about dedication. Well, you people that are married know the vows you take, I guess, till death do you part. There's never been anybody more loyal than Jim McElreath was. He's never left her side, and he brought her the chili bowl a few times, and she started making a little progress, and she could whisper to you, and she'd smile, and Jim would take her around and show her. So, I mean, that was, you know, he kept her going. There's no doubt about it. Well, then, a decade or so ago, he gets leukemia. Of all things that have happened, he gets leukemia, so he's in and out of the hospital, has some blood problems, he has something else happen to him. So he's trying to take care of his wife. He's battling his own health issues. The guy I've never seen anybody that has the adversity this guy's had and just keeps battling like he always has and never complains. Johnny Rutherford and Foyt and I talk about it all the time about he's the toughest guy they ever met. So last week Jim turned 87, and of course the day before he just got out of the hospital again, and he's got somebody helping him take care of Shirley because he just can't do it by himself anymore. But when you think about all the great race drivers and all the great people you meet in racing and stuff, Jim is probably one of those guys that maybe if you didn't grow up in the 60s and 70s you'd never heard of him, but what you can't appreciate is what an amazing mental toughness this guy has to deal with all the things he's had to deal with. And yeah, he was a hell of a race driver, but better yet, he is a hell of a man, and I'm just glad he's a friend. Proud to know him, Jim McElreath, a real American tough guy. This is Robin Miller for RACER.com. Thanks for watching.